So I'm Eva and I'm the student recruitment manager for the one-year master programs at Antwerp Management School. And those programs are specifically tailored to students who are like recent graduates or like young professionals with max, for example, 5 years of work experience. So basically, I'm the first point of contact for anyone who considers to do a master's at AMS. Well, I often get that question from students, especially when I'm at international fairs. And I know Belgium is not the most famous country. It's not like France or the UK. But what I like a lot is that we have a lot of schools that score very well in international rankings. But in terms of tuition fees, we are still relatively affordable, especially if you compare it to other Western countries. So in terms of like value for money, Belgium is, in my opinion, a great choice. What else? What I like a lot as well is our central location. Especially, I used to live abroad myself, and it's only when I lived abroad that I really started appreciating how central Belgium is. Like, and you're in the UK, in Germany, in the Netherlands, in France. So for international students, it's great to explore Europe if you're in Belgium. So we have about 60% international students and 40% students. Most of the local students, they stay in Belgium. From the international ones, there are plenty, I would say at least 20 to 30% that actually stay in Belgium and a bit broader also in Europe. Often because they find a job here after graduation or they like it a lot and they don't want to leave anymore. It used to be something that was quite difficult because in the past, there was no post-study work visa. Now, finally, the Belgian government has approved this visa. So that means that students, everyone doing a postgraduate degree in Belgium will be able to stay at least for 1 extra year and have full work rights. So an employer don't have to sponsor your visa anymore. So it definitely makes things easier now for international students. It's actually after their masters, they can apply themselves for a 1-year extension of their visa. And that visa allows them, gives them full work rights. So even without having an employer yet. So what it actually helps is that it actually makes the threshold lower. You know, normally before the visa, you needed to find an employer first that was willing to sponsor your visa. And that's very hard, especially if an employer doesn't know you, you haven't been able to prove yourself. It's very hard to gain their trust. And now with this work visa, an employer can just hire you as if you were a local student and you have full work rights. So they don't even need to sponsor you. So they can actually, give you a try. So to say, you can prove yourself for 1 year. And then if they want to keep you, they can still move on to a sponsorship. In terms of like an international mindset, like Belgium, we're small, but we have all the headquarters of the major international organizations here. So if you want to have like an international career, if you want to be in a real melting pot, Belgium is a place to be. And in terms of sustainability, we're not a country that has like many natural resources left. So we've kind of been forced in history already to like reuse materials. So we're very big on like circular economy. So that's one of the big industries here, a big recycling industry. And then also we've always been like a major international player with many international organizations. So we also are one of the important partners of like the UN's environment program, for example. So Belgium is really one of those front runners in terms of sustainability, also because we were a little bit forced to start thinking in that way, because we're not like, you know, Australia, who have lots of natural resources, for example. So I think we're definitely ahead of many countries in terms of sustainability. Belgians in the beginning, they might seem a bit like timid and closed because they're a little bit observant in the beginning. So they will see, okay, who are you? They're not very superficial, but once you gain their trust, you're really like a friend for life. So, and they do a lot of things for you. So even though it might seem a little bit cold at first, it's just us like observing, checking out who you are. And yeah, just if we befriend people, we mean it. We're not superficial. So that's something typical Belgium, that a lot of international students say that they really see a shift. In the beginning, they're like, I don't know if they like me or if I feel at home. But then after a few months, they're like, wow, I love it here. They don't want to leave anymore. So that's typical Belgians. And typical for Belgian culture is definitely our food culture, beer culture, of course. So we love eating, we love going to restaurants, we love enjoying life. So that's definitely something typical for Belgium as well. I know it's complicated, but Belgians are what we call like polyglots. We speak several languages. Every young person speaks English here. It's also, like I said, a very multicultural country, a lot of international organizations. So especially in the big cities, it's completely fine to just go to the supermarket or to a restaurant and just speaking English. No one will look at you and like learn the language. You know, people are used to that, having an international audience here. So students should definitely not be afraid of not speaking any of the country's official languages. Of course, if your plan is to stay in Belgium, I always encourage our students to either take French or Dutch courses, just also to gain a bit of the employer sympathy because you're trying, you know. But it's, definitely with all the major international companies, often English is just fine. But it will definitely increase your chances on the job market if you want to stay, if you at least can show that you're putting in an effort to learn one of the country's official languages. And then it's either Dutch or French that will give you most chances on the job market.
So my name is Jolanda Habets. I'm head of MBA programs at VLERICK Business School in Belgium. And under my portfolio, I have the online MBA, the executive MBA, as well as the full-time MBA program. I think Belgium is actually an excellent gateway to an international career for students. Belgium historically was the founding member of many major international entities like the EU, NATO, the Eurozone, World Trade Organizations, just to name a few. And many of those international organizations are headquartered in the capital city of Belgium, Brussels, which gives it a very good position on the international stage. Because of its central location as well, Belgium offers access to the rest of Europe. Definitely, the main industries, I would say at the moment in Belgium, are pharmaceuticals, including biotech, chemicals, and food and beverage. And all of those industries, next to many others, are represented in our classrooms through guest speakers, live projects, business cases, through the bespoke research that our faculty does, but also through the network in the classroom. Many of our executive MBA students and executive education participants come from those industries. I think one of the biggest lessons we've taken away from the pandemic as a school is that we really cannot go back to the world as it was before. So as a business school, we want to make sure that we keep adding value and that we create impactful leaders. We were already in the process of reviewing our programs at VLERICK. And through the pandemic, the focus in the program shifted even more towards responsible leadership, risk and change management, and obviously sustainability, where through the interaction in the programs, the theory, the practice, but also by incorporating a strong personal development journey, we really want to shape leaders that are at the forefront of managing the change that the new society requires. Well, Belgium is also known as a hub of innovation, and a lot of that innovation is focused towards sustainability in many industries, ranging from transportation through textile, through food and beverages, but also, for example, in some of the more traditional industries like finance, where Belgium is again at the forefront with the introduction of a quality standard for sustainable and socially responsible financial products. There's also a strong focus on improving resource efficiency and moving towards a circular economy with a focus on reducing waste. and mainstreaming sustainable practices across all sectors. Well, we notice that because of the exposure that we offer to our students throughout the program, a lot of them make very strong connections already during the program. So we hit close to 70% of our international students that stay in Europe, not just in Belgium, because I mean, Belgium is of course a very small, but also very open economy, so which allows them to move around.
Belgium in general is a great place to study, as we are in the center of Europe, at the very much heart of Europe. Actually, Solvay is even based in the EU capital, so it makes that it's very easy to connect with top corporates who are having the HQ, but also if you're interested by EU institutions or NGOs, there is a lot of connection and networking opportunities. And moreover, when we think Belgium, on the fun side of it, of course, it's a great place to live, chocolates, beer, and much more. Of course, Belgium is EU capital, is also in the EU capital, but I'm representing Solvay here, and so even more for us, it's Belgium is hosting much more than political institutions. We are sharing the name with a big multinational company operating in chemistry, which is Solvay Chemicals. We are having the same founder, as Solvay. So Belgium is also well known for hosting a lot of chemical companies, but it's also quite hosting, and Belgium is also very much important as a hub in terms of transportation. So we're having a lot of companies such as FedEx, DHL, so quite big also here. The benefits of our students, of course, that we are actually at Solvay, the executive MBA is having quite a variety of instructors. So our instructors are indeed coming from academia, but we also have a lot of practitioners coming from all around the world, but also we are tapping into the network here in Brussels. So we are, for example, having a new course this year on technology regulation and lobbying, which is going to be delivered by the CEO of Political Europe. So, for example, this is one of the main good point of having the EU close by, is that we have these kind of high profiles who are available to be professors or even to be guests during our courses. And of course, it's very easy to be active in the network. I mean, our students usually go out every Thursday for the afterwork in the EU bubble. So in terms of making new friends, but also potential business partners, it's very much easy, thanks to that, to be based in Brussels and studying in Brussels. Belgium is a very small country, and due to that, we are a country which is very open on the outside world. So when you arrive here in Brussels and when you arrive in Belgium, is that Belgium is a very cosmopolitan place, a lot of nationalities around. So if you are someone interested in discovering new cultures, speaking in English, or just speaking other languages than yours, Belgium is a very good place for that. And due to that also, we are quite, I believe, an open-minded country. So we're very liberal. So I believe that when you are a foreigner, it's a place where you feel very at ease, very easily. You will be very welcomed when you are moving here and when you are connecting with people around. Most of our participants at the Solvay Executive MBA are actually working professionals. So they have already a job when they start the MBA. Afterwards, of course, they either progress in the same company, change job, or either set up their own business. So this slow change is not really impacting our EMBA participants, but we are also offering at Solvay advanced masters, and there, of course, It's something that is helping because people then can study in Belgium, make their first connection here in Belgium with the corporate world. Solvay is very much connected with the corporate world. We're having over 25,000 alumni around the world, so we're very happy to help our students connect with the right people in the right place and help them out as much as possible in terms of recruitment. And of course, the fact that people can stay, our learners, our participants can stay a bit longer afterwards is of course helping them in terms of the job application stage. So Solvay has been there for quite a lot of time. So we've been created by Ernest Solvay, a captain of industry. We have more than 25,000 alumni around the world. So you can have a Solvay alumni around the corner, as we like to say. And as specifically about the Executive MBA, what we are very proud is that the Solvay Executive MBA is really embedded on sustainability. Through our scholarships, through academia, with all courses anchored with one sustainability chapter, and also through our operations, where we really care about making our operation as sustainable and lean as possible.